Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'll be walking you through an easy technique for perfect natural looking brows using our hybrid brow stain. If you want more helpful tips, subscribe now and tap the bell to get notified of all my latest tutorials. And I'll be using medium brown and chestnut brown from our stain trio set. First, we'll prep the brows by exfoliating with our foaming brow wash and using a spoolie brush to gently cleanse away makeup, dirt, and dry skin. This step is essential because it creates a clean, smooth surface that allows the hybrid stain to apply evenly and last longer. A well-prepped brow sets the foundation for perfect tinting. Before applying the hybrid tint, I'm going to go ahead and clean up her brows a little bit. That way I could just see the shape of her natural brows more. And then go ahead and apply a mapping sticker. This is just basic mapping, no need for advanced mapping. So if on the left side of the brow, the arch is at point B, on the right side of the brow, you want to make the arch at point B as well. Next, it's time to apply and layer the tint to the brows. You always want to start at the beginning of the brows, which is the head area. Work your way to the body of the brows, then go from the body to the arch and work your way down to the tail. As you can see here, I'm just stippling the tint into the skin. Don't spread or rub the tint into the skin because it won't saturate past the brow hairs. So if you're using a spreading motion, most likely your stain will be uneven. So that's why it's best to do a stippling motion. That way the tint can get past the hair down to the skin for a more even, consistent stain. Now it's time to apply the second layer of the hybrid tint to the skin. What layering does is it darkens and deepens the stain. You apply the first layer, you should let it dry, and then apply the second layer. Once the second layer is pretty much dry, you can start removing. So right here, I'm just doing a little bit cleanup to make sure all of my edges are sharp, nice, and I don't have too much of excess tint outside of the border area that I want for her brows. Next is processing tint removal. I get asked this question so often: how long should I let it process on the skin? Well, processing depends on three different things: the skin texture, the skin type, and the desired depth of color. For skin texture, if you have enlarged pores, typically you have oily skin. For skin type, you could be the combination, normal, or you could have oily skin. And lastly, the desired depth of color. The darker you want your stain, the longer you should let it sit. The lighter you want the stain, you should remove it a little bit earlier. For my client here, the ombre part of her brows I remove within 5 to 7 minutes, and then the rest of the brow area I remove within around 10 to 15 minutes. To remove the excess stain from her brows, I'm just using a damp cotton round, and I'm just blotting the brow area to rehydrate the stain, and then I'm using a spoolie brush to brush the excess stain from the brow area. So just completely go over the brow area by blotting it with the damp cotton round. That's just going to help moisten and rehydrate the dried stain, and then brush everything that's excess out of the brow area, and it's going to help to create a more even stain as well. Now let's get into brow cleanup. Typically I do 2 steps of brow cleanup, which is arching, and then later I'll talk about concealing the brows just for more cleaner look. And my choice to clean the brows up is using a razor. You could tweeze, you could use scissors, or you can also wax if you decide not to use a razor for arching. Now for my favorite part, concealing the brows. I like to use a concealer that's between 1 to 2 shades lighter than the skin tone, and this just helps to make the brows pop more and create a difference between the tinted brows and the skin. Just make sure you blend it in well. Now I'll just finish up on the other side and you could just watch along. And for our finishing touches, we're going to use our brow lock, and this is one of my most favorite products because it helps seal in the brows for up to 30 hours per application. I love this stuff. I use it all the time. So once you finish up and the hybrid stain or either the henna has set into the skin, you apply the first coat. I like to put it onto the hair of the brows and then just brush it through so it could get down to the skin layer. You could let it dry and then apply a second layer if you would like. For her, I only did one layer. And here is her beautiful results using our hybrid brow stain. Thanks for watching. If you want to see how henna compares, check out my henna brow video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the brow bell for more brow tutorials.